Pokemon has officially confirmed a brand new trailer dropping tomorrow, and the Riddler has been going off with all sorts of new leaks and much more for the DLC and beyond. Let's dive in. All right, the brand new Pokemon news cycle for the Indigo Disk has officially begun, as tomorrow, December 7th at 14 UTC or 9 a.m. Eastern time, there's going to be a brand new trailer for the Indigo Disk, and we're going to be covering it on our live stream at twitch.tv/adrive, so make sure you guys tune in for that. But this is likely to be kind of their final hype trailer as we lead into the release of the Indigo Disk in just about a week from now. So this is getting really exciting. I'm sure we're getting a ton of new information, but the Riddler and the leakers have been going crazy, and that's what the bulk of this video is going to be, because we've actually got some pretty substantial information regarding the 19th type, Applin's new evolution form, or, you know, Diplin's new evolution, a handful of different things, the different legendaries, the Paradox legendaries that we're going to be getting, the legendaries that you can shiny hunt. There's a lot to talk about in this video, so let's keep it rocking. In mid-November, we covered this post from Riddler talking about various legendaries and their shiny forms being shiny huntable in the upcoming DLC. Now, it turns out that a list of those 25 legendaries has officially been data mined and leaked, and we have this here from Makio and J Roses. Riddler did come out to say that they made a slight mistake and that Enamorus is not going to be on this list. However, Spectrier and Glacier are on the list, as well as Kubfu apparently. So these are legendary static encounters in DLC Part 2 that have been data mined. It's the legendary birds, the legendary dogs. You've got Lugia and Ho-Oh, Latios, the Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza. Then you've got the Justice trio, so Cobalion, Terrakion, Virizion, Reshiram, Zekrom, Kyurem, Solgaleo, Lunala, Necrozma, Kubfu, and then Spectrier and Glacier. So those seem to be the 25 legendaries that we'll be able to obtain through the DLC through a new mechanic. And that's another kind of interesting piece of the puzzle here, is that there's a couple things that have been talked about, one of which is this new vending machine type of thing, which Central Leaks is reporting as this being the Synchro machine. We don't know exactly what it's going to be used for, but we know it's going to be used to get the 25 legendaries from previous gens. You have to get a certain item to do it, you deposit into the machine, and then it's going to trigger the encounter. So that's kind of what we're thinking. There was a lot of teases and hints towards this vending machine idea. We obviously saw the Cramomatic in a previous game, Sword and Shield, so it's possible we might be revisiting something like that in order to obtain these legendaries. So we don't have all the details about it, but we do have a good amount that we have the legendaries that we're going to be able to hunt. We have kind of a general idea of how the methodology is going to work, and that's how it's going to all break down for some of those old legendaries. Probably very reminiscent of Raid Den Adventures from the previous games. Diverting a little bit from the upcoming DLC, Central reports, and a lot of people are reporting on the fact that it's 100% expected, but Pokemon has some pretty big plans for Pokemon Day in February. In celebration of Pokemon Day 24, fans are going to embark on an all-new animated adventure with Pokemon Horizons. Makes their premiere in markets early next year. There's been a lot of speculation that they are going to be announcing a new main series Pokemon game in February, so I would say strap in for that. It's very likely that we're going back to Unova, or we're getting some sort of a Legends-based game. So again, nothing confirmed, but it certainly is looking that way. Now, something really interesting that popped up over the last week or so, ABC Boy and a handful of others tackled the data mining, and they actually realized that if you use different languages and you kind of do a little bit of translating and kind of dig a little bit, you can actually identify the first letter of the various Pokemon's names based on their internal IDs and what this could be. And there was some guesses made. User Donnie made some guesses about Hydraplin, Gouging Seer, Raging Bolt, Iron Crown, Iron Boulder, Terapagos, Peachy Keen, I guess, and Arcalodon. It seems as though the kind of summary of this is that the thought is that the new Entei form is going to be Gouging something. So it could be Gouging Seer, Gouging Lava, Gouging Heat. But nonetheless, it seems as though the community kind of came together to try to figure out what some of these names could ultimately be based on these internal IDs. So kind of some fun stuff back and forth. Nothing too concrete or substantial, but very interesting nonetheless. Now, this bit of information kind of shocked me a little bit, and I made a funny tweet about it saying, please don't be called Stellar. But basically, Riddler and a handful of others kind of leaked or hinted at what the 19th type is going to be called. For those who don't know, the belief right now is that Terapagos is going to introduce this 19th type, which is going to be specifically a Terra type. The thought is that it's kind of like typeless in a way, where it doesn't have any sort of weaknesses. But the idea is that Terapagos' new ability is going to be very tied to this new 19th Terra type, and it seems as though that it's going to be widespread to either every Pokemon can utilize it, or a lot of Pokemon can utilize it. And based on some of the translations we've seen, it is going to be called Stellar type. It may be like Terra Stellar, it may be Stellar Terra, it may be a totally different word like Celestial. It's possible that these translations may change. I did personally reached out for confirmation on this from the leaker, and it was very gracious to answer me, and they indicated that they don't know the English localization name for this, but in Japanese it is Stellar. So Stellar seems to be a very important keyword in this DLC, and I think that there's a chance that we actually get this information tomorrow. The reason why I was so particularly interested in this is, you guys know I'm developing my game Alestrals, and we have our thing in our game called Stellars, which is basically our version of Shinies. So, you know, I'm hopeful that they don't use the name Stellar. I'm not worried about it from a legal end or anything. We're covered. You know, I've spoken to the right people. We're good to go. I'm not worried there. But obviously, I like to try to differentiate where I can. So, you know, hopefully it's not called Stellar type. It may be called something else, but we'll find out. Again, it would probably be the name of the typing. So it'd be like Stellar Terra, Terra Stellar, whatever. I don't know what they're going to call it, but it seems as though that's probably related to it. So don't be surprised if that's actually the name or it's something similar to that. We've also got some new abilities. ABC Boy going hard, finding out some scrapped abilities in the coding. There's 2 abilities that potentially start with the word Terra, and there's 1 ability that starts with the word Poison, it seems. There was some rumors that we had covered a while back that talked about Applin's new evolution having some sort of an ability that makes it have poison type moves or be poison typing all the time. And that may also tie in here, and we've got a pretty significant post that we're going to talk about in terms of Hydraplin and this kind of new Diplin form. People have been calling it Hydraplin, but we'll get to that here shortly. The next one that I thought was interesting, and I know we're kind of jumping all over the place, there's a lot of different things going on. Riddler Coup made a post: electric, fire, water, steel, rock, psychic. Why may they destroy the pattern? And some people speculated on this. Seemed pretty straightforward. Dark Minior says it's the Paradox signature move types. Raging Bolt has Thunderclap. Paradox Entei has a signature move, which is fire. Walking Wake has Hydro Steam. Iron Crown has Tachyon Cutter. Paradox Terrakion has a signature move, which is rock. But then Iron Leaves has Psyblade, a psychic move. So the idea that the kind of pattern gets broken there because they didn't end up keeping the signature like element type for them, so like Raikou being thunder or electric rather, Walking Wake being water, but then randomly Iron Leaves as a psychic move instead of a grass move is basically the idea behind it, right? So that's the thought there, what that riddle was. Then, which would lead us to believe that Entei's form and Terrakion's form would both have a rock and a fire, you know, signature move respectively. So that's kind of the important takeaway there. Riddler Coup, this is the big one. This is the biggest one of them all when it comes to the posts that we've seen. Riddler posts a teaser of a guy holding black and white, holding up a Duraludon, putting them together and making Arjaludon, right? This cool little post, this little meme post. And then he makes another post that says Tada, and it's Hydreigon, which is the 3-headed Hydra Dragon, and a Volcarona, which is obviously like this Mothra-esque Pokemon, Firebug. And he has the 2 held together and puts them together, and it makes an apple. Listen, we've been discussing this for a long time. This idea that Diplin has an evolution. We know it's coming. It's going to be a signature Pokemon of Kieran in the upcoming DLC. The biggest speculation is the typing around it and kind of the overall design. I think overall right now, based on Diplin, we know that Diplin has 2 Pokemon inside of it. 2 Diplins, essentially, right? One is the head that pops out, and one is the tail. The leaks and rumors and riddles all have led up to this point where these 2 Diplin are basically going to come out from the top of the apple, and they're going to go around a Caduceus staff, which is Hermes' staff. So if you're familiar with that, it's often used in the medical fields as a symbol. It's possible they're going to kind of slither up this staff, and it may have many heads. So the thought here is that it's going to be Bug Dragon, and we talked about this a few months ago about Bug Dragon Diplin evolution. This seems to point in that direction even further when you're taking Hydreigon and Volcarona and you're putting them together. Bug and Dragon is the first thing you come out with. The thought that Applin or Diplin's evolution could have been Bug Dragon this whole time is something that I think a lot of people have kind of potentially anticipated. So the speculation is that this thing is going to be a very many-headed, at least 2-headed, but probably many-headed Diplin evolution that is going to potentially be Bug Dragon. That is where we have landed at this point. And I, for one, am very excited about this. Obviously, I've been waiting for a Bug Dragon for many, many years in Pokemon. I got so tired of waiting, I decided to create my own insectoid dragons in Alestrals, and they're awesome. We have our friend here, Peanut, which I'll put on the screen. You guys can check out Peanut. Peanut's beautiful. I'm very excited about what we're developing. But Pokemon finally coming out with a Bug Dragon. I had to make them because I got tired of waiting. But we might actually get that, and I'm excited about it, right? Like, this is... I've been waiting for this for how many years? So this could be really sick. I think it could be really dope. So I'm excited, and we'll see what they reveal. I think this is one of those situations where this upcoming trailer tomorrow, they can either reveal a ton of stuff or they can keep it very, very simple. It's possible they spoil like the whole DLC, or they just reveal like, you know, Entei and that's it. So time will tell on that one, but make sure you guys tune in. I'll be live tomorrow for the announcement, 9 a.m. Eastern time, twitch.tv/ADrop. I'm gonna dust off the cobwebs. We're gonna make it happen. Let me know your thoughts on all this leaked information, everything coming out from Riddler, Coup, Centro, all that stuff. And I hope you guys are excited for the announcement tomorrow, about a week away from the DLC. That's it for me, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.